Welcome, disciples. You've entered the world of Lost Me Halo, where a drunken sailor preaches nonsense that somehow makes sense. No maps, no morals, just hot takes and hallucinations. Grab your coffee, light something unhealthy, because the sermon begins now.
Let's not kid ourselves. Alcohol is basically society's way of saying life is a bit crap, have a drink, and see if it looks prettier when it wobbles. And it works. There's nothing quite like that first pint cold, frothy, sliding down your throat in a way that feels slightly obscene. Honestly, it's the closest most Indian men get to foreplay. Now, I'm not saying alcohol is a good thing. After all, it's the only fluid where the recommended daily allowance is none. You don't see doctors saying that about water, do you? No one's ever said, steady on with the Evian, you'll regret it in the morning and make your liver bleed. But with alcohol, everyone becomes your mother, your conscience, and a boring priest rolled into one. And yet, here's the truth. The first pint of beer is mankind's greatest invention. The wheel? Useful. Electricity? Handy. The internet? A convenient way to send pictures of your genitals to strangers. But that first sip of cold beer on a hot day, it's basically foreplay for your soul. Of course, it never ends with just one. No man has ever said, well, that's enough for today. I'll go home, make a salad, and watch an art documentary. Nah. By pint 3, you're texting your ex about how you're still soulmates. Pint 6 convinces you that karaoke is a valid career path. By pint 8, you're calling her new boyfriend a budget Justin Bieber with smaller balls. And by pint 9, you've lost your shoes and you're trying to chat up a fire extinguisher because it has great curves. Spirits are even worse. Tequila is basically the chemical equivalent of pulling your trousers down in public and shouting, "Who wants a go?" Vodka. That's just chloroform with branding. Rum is basically pirate cosplay that ends with you weeping in a corner about how your dad never hugged you. And then there's gin. Gin. Forget romance novels. Forget 50 Shades of Grey. Nothing makes me feel quite as seduced as a tall glass of gin with ice. The glass sweats in your hand. It caresses your tongue with botanicals you can't even pronounce. And suddenly you're flushed. Gin leans in close, breathes on your neck, and before you know it, you're in love. Trousers round your ankles and shouting at the moon about destiny. Wine, though, is a fraud. Everyone pretends it's classy. Oh, I can taste notes of blackberry and oak. No, you can't. What you're actually tasting is your dignity slowly leaving your body. By the second bottle, you're confessing sexual fantasies to people you barely know. And by the third, you're arguing with a wall about how it doesn't understand your pain. But the real kick in the nuts comes the next morning. The hangover. That unholy mixture of dehydration, shame, and a mouth that tastes like it's been tongue-kissed by Satan's hairy armpit. You peel one eye open and wonder why your head feels like a marching band set up inside it. And then comes the worst part. The flashbacks. The sudden pants round ankles memory of you trying to twerk in front of your date, or insisting your cock is slightly bigger than average, if you count the bit that goes inside. And yet, we do it again. And again. And again. Because deep down, alcohol is like that terrible lover you can't quite quit. They ruin your life, steal your money, break your bed, and leave you sobbing. But bloody hell, the ride is worth it. At the end of the day, life without alcohol is like a dick without Viagra. Safe, sensible, and utterly pointless. Because sure, you'll live longer without the booze. But honestly, what's the point of living to 100 if you've spent the last 40 years sober, sipping mineral water and explaining to strangers why you never took your trousers off in public?